Hello dear students, as you all know we are doing chapter number 10, Wave Optics. Today we are going to do 8th part of the lecture series. In the last part we talked about diffraction. What we learnt in diffraction is the bending of light through the sharp edges of obstacle or through narrow slit is called diffraction. We have derived the formula for position of maxima and minima also. At the center, central maximum is formed. Then after other maximums are formed, those are called secondary maximum. For nth secondary maximum, we have its position as xn dash is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda d by 2a, where capital D is the distance between slit and the screen, a is the slit through which the light is passing. For nth minimum, we have derived the condition and the formula is given by xn is equal to n lambda d by a. Now, when keeping these things in our mind, we'll now try to understand where the first maximum and second maximum will be formed. Now just see, at the center, central maximum will be there. So suppose this is your screen, this is your slit, and this is the center point O. Okay, this is the center point O, right? Now, what we have to understand, that from the center, the first maximum, secondary maximum, just put n is equal to 1. 2 into 1 it will be 2. 2 plus 1 it will become 3. 3 lambda d by 2a. Somewhere here, or let us make it more further. Somewhere here, 3 lambda d by 2a, first secondary maximum is formed. In the same manner, at the bottom also, at the same distance, first secondary maximum 3 lambda d by 2a, first secondary maximum is formed. Is it clear? The second secondary maximum will be, put n is equal to 2, 2 to the 4 plus 1 5, 5 lambda d by 2a. Somewhere here, let it be 5 lambda d by 2a. This is your secondary maximum. And at the bottom, somewhere here, 5 lambda d by 2a. This is your secondary maximum. Is it clear? Now, let us try to understand about minimum. Put n is equal to 1, we are going to have lambda d by a. Lambda d by a will be somewhere here. Lambda d by a. Okay? This is your first minimum. At the below point, at the below from a also, let this point be lambda d by a. From this distance, it is your first minimum. The second minimum will be formed at this C, this put n is equal to 2. So what we are going to have, 2 lambda d by a. It is somewhere here. See, this is lambda d by a, this is 3 lambda d by 2a, means 3 by 2 is 1.5. This is 1, this is 1.5 times lambda d by a, not 2 lambda d by a. It is there somewhere here. 2 lambda d by a, this is your second minimum. Here also, somewhere here, 2 lambda d by a, this is your second minimum, and it will go so on. Okay, so what we are having at the center, central maximum is formed, then after first minimum is formed at lambda d by a, lambda d by a, then after another maximum is formed, then after another minimum, then after another maximum. So maximum and minimum, they occurs alternatively. Is it clear? And with the help of this thing, if we want to draw the graph from here, if you want to make the graph, then at this point at O, the central maximum is formed. Okay, this point minimum is formed. So how the graph will go like? Graph will go like this. At this point minimum is formed. The intensity of light is minimum. It will be 0. Here we have a dark value. Then after at 3 lambda d by 2 first secondary maximum, again that 2 lambda d by 8 second minimum. The graph will go like this. 5 lambda d by 2 maximum, it will be like this. Same happens at the bottom also at 3 lambda by 2 first secondary maximum. So at this point it will be maximum, and then at 2 lambda d by 8 it is second minimum. The graph will go like this. Then out of 5 lambda by 2 maximum, it will go like this. Okay, so at the center the maximum, at the central maximum intensity is maximum, but when we go sidewise the intensity gets decreases. Intensity gets decreased as we move from the center. And after certain distance, the intensity becomes very small and it becomes perfectly dark. Is it clear? Let me draw the intensity distribution graph on x-axis and y-axis so that we can understand. It's something like this way. Okay, this figure was like this. Okay, so the intensity distribution graph is like this way. Okay, at the center it is 0. This is your first minimum, lambda d by a. This is your first secondary maximum, 3 lambda d by 2a. This is your second minimum, 2 lambda d by a, so on. Same happens here also. Minus lambda d by a, this is your maximum, it will become minus 3 lambda d by 2a, and then this is your minimum, 2 lambda d by a. Why it happens so? As we move away from the center, intensity decreases. Why does it happen? Try to understand. Actually what happens, yesterday also I have told you that when for the formation of first and secondary maximum, we have to divide the slit into 3 parts. These 3 parts, the slit width is divided into 3 parts. First part, intensity, is cancelled by the second part, and the light reaches only from the third part of the slit width. And that's why amount of light which reaches to the secondary maximum, it is quite less. And that's why intensity decreases. For the secondary maximum, we have to divide the slit into 5 parts. First part intensity will be cancelled by second, third part intensity will be cancelled by fourth, and then the light will reach at the point of secondary maximum only fifth part of the slit. And because of that, what happens? The intensity decreases. And it keeps on going like that only. For the third, we have to divide it into seventh part. So the slit width through which light reaches to form third secondary maximum, it is 1/7 of the total width. And that's why intensity gets decreases as we move away from the center. If this is your slit width, if this is your slit width, so this is what we call diffraction spread. This is what we call diffraction spread. This much from here till here, from here till here. Is it clear? Okay. Now we are going to calculate fringe width. What is fringe width? Okay, this is how the intensity distribution curve is there. I have already made, this time I have made it a bit clear. Now just see, this is your central maximum spread. Then after it is your first secondary maximum. This is your second secondary maximum. Positions are written at the board. First minima occurs at lambda d by a. Second minima occurs 2 lambda d by a. Third minima occurs 3 lambda d by 2a. Okay, 3 lambda d by a. Okay. Now first maximum, secondary maximum occurs at 3 lambda d by 2a, and second maximum occurs at 5 lambda d by 2a. Now if we want to calculate the linear width of secondary maximum, then it will be calculated from here till here. From here till here. And what is the total width? The width is going to be from here till here it is lambda d by a, from here till here it is lambda d by a. So the total width, we have only width of secondary, not secondary, we are going to write first of all central maximum, width of central maximum. And what we are calculating? We are calculating linear width. Linear width of secondary maximum, beta naught is equal to, from here till here lambda d by a, from here till here lambda d by a, it will become 2 lambda d by a. So this is the width of secondary maximum in the diffraction pattern. Now comes to width of now we are going to calculate the width of secondary maximum. Secondary maximum. How it will be calculated? Just see, this is your secondary maximum, first secondary maximum. This exists from this point to this point. If we subtract this position from this position, that is your 2 lambda d by a, and this is your lambda d by a. So if we subtract lambda d by a from 2 lambda d by a, so what we are going to have? Beta is equal to 2 lambda d by a minus lambda d by a. What we are going to have? Beta is equal to lambda d by a only. And this is not for the first secondary maximum, it will happen for everyone. Like here it is 5 lambda d by 2a. If we want to calculate width of this one, we have to subtract 2 lambda d by a from 3 lambda d by a. 3 lambda d by a minus 2 lambda d by a, what we are going to have? 5 lambda d by 2a. Lambda d by a. Is it clear? So this is how we calculate width of secondary maximum. Now come to width of minimum. Width of minimum. So this is your first, this is your minimum. This occurs from this point to this point. From here the minimum starts, and from when till the light reaches to the maximum, minimum exists till that point. So for this minimum, what we have to do? We have to subtract 3 lambda d by 2a from 5 lambda d by 2a. So width of minimum will be 5 lambda d by 2a minus 3 lambda d by 2a. We are going to have 2 lambda d by 2a, and 2 and 2 will be cancelled out. Beta will be equal to lambda d by a. From here what we should learn, what we should take out, that the width of central maximum, if you can see, it is 2 lambda d by a, whereas width of secondary maximum is lambda d by a, width of minimum is lambda d by a. Width of minimum, width of secondary maximum, they are equal, and width of central maximum is just twice of width of minimum and width of secondary maximum. This was not there in the interference. Interference in all the fringes are of equal width, are of equal intensity. But in diffraction pattern, what happens? The central maximum is of twice the width, and it has the maximum intensity. Whereas the other fringes, bright and dark, both have lambda d by a width. It is of twice width of secondary maximum or width of minimum. So this is the difference between interference and diffraction. A very important question in the board examination, some differences between interference and diffraction. So I am leaving this thing up to you, that we have completed interference also, we have completed diffraction also now. At this point of time we have completed diffraction. So you must know what are the differences between interference and diffraction. So many differences are there. If you see the pattern, then also you will come to know. If you see the formula, if you see the conditions, then also you come to. Okay, so you have to write at least 4 differences between interference and diffraction, and this will be your homework for the day. Is it clear? Now today we are going to understand a new topic which is called resolution. Okay, today next topic is the resolution. What does the resolution mean? Actually, there are two things. One is magnification, and other thing is resolution. What does magnification means? What does resolution means? Magnification means to magnify the object. We see a magnified image of an object. And resolution means how the things are being resolved in the image. Let me clarify this with one example. At some place, it is written like this. Okay? If we magnify it, we get a bigger image. If we more magnify it, we get a more bigger image. So this is what the magnification means. What does resolution means? Resolution means the size of the image, maybe it is a bit magnified, but these things which are very close to each other, they can be looked at separately. Just see, there is no much difference in the size, but here we can resolve the things. We can see 1, 2 and 3 separated. Here it is not, here it is not, here it is not. Is it clear? So this is what the resolution means. Resolution means to separate two things. It is an ability to separate two things. These days a term is very much in trend, that is a high resolution images. High resolution images means in that very image we can see two things which are very close to each other in reality. In the image it can be seen separated. Is it clear? So this is what the resolution means. And now from here one more term coming to our consideration, and that term is limit of resolution. What is limit of resolution? Limit, it is actually for the minimum. So what this limit of resolution means? Limit of resolution means it is the minimum distance between two objects which can be seen separated by an optical instrument. So for different optical instrument, this limit of resolution is different. It is the minimum distance between two objects which can be seen separated by an optical instrument. That distance is called limit of resolution. Is it clear? So this is what the limit of resolution means. Now, as human eye is also an optical instrument. So for human eye, the limit of resolution is 1 minute. For human eye, the resolution, the limit of resolution is 1 minute. What does 1 minute means? Like suppose if here your eyes are, then two objects which are at certain distance, if they obtain an angle of 1 minute, then they can be seen separated. Is it clear? But suppose with the same distance, if these objects move very away from the eyes, then what happens? Now they make a smaller angle. If they keep on moving away from the human eye, then this angle becomes very small, and then we are not able to see the objects clearly. Is it clear? Like suppose if you are able to read the newspaper, so you have to keep the newspaper not very far away from your eye. If that newspaper is stick to the wall, okay, and if you are looking at it from a distance of 1 meter, 2 meter, then maybe you are able to understand the heading, maybe you are able to read the headings, but you are not able to read the articles which are written in very small letters. Okay, so that case what happens? If two objects are at a distance such that they make an angle of 1 minute, then you can read. Okay, but if they do not, if they are moving far away, then this angle becomes less than 1 minute. In that case, you are not able to see the things separated. For this resolution, there is one criteria, and it is called Rayleigh criteria. Rayleigh Rayleigh criteria. What is that Rayleigh criteria? Rayleigh says that two objects are seen just resolved if maxima of one falls on the minima of other. If maxima of one falls on the minima of other. What does it mean? Let us see. It means that suppose these are the two objects and human eye is trying to see these objects, then what happens? The maxima of one, this is the diffraction pattern of one object, and this is another one. So for another one, it is like this. So here what happens? These two objects will not be seen separated because their maxima, human eye receives maximum from this point to this point. So there, the human eye cannot see these two objects separated. This is not resolved condition. Not. Rayleigh says that two objects are just seen separated if maxima of one falls at the minima of others. Just see, at this point of time, this maxima falls of minima of one, and here this maximum of this one falls on minima of this one. Okay, this object, so this maximum falls on minima of this one, and this maximum falls minima of this one. So this is the condition of just resolved. Just resolved. And when these are far apart, like for one object the maximum is like this, for another object the maximum is like this, then what happens? These are fully resolved. Fully resolved. So Rayleigh talk about this one. Okay, what Rayleigh says that things are seen just resolved when the maxima of one falls on the minima of others. Maxima of one falls minima of other. So this is what the Rayleigh criteria is about resolution. Okay, this is all for the today. We are going to discuss resolving power of telescope and compound microscope in the next lecture, and then one more topic I coined in the last lecture, and that term is Fresnel distance. We are going to understand Fresnel distance in the next lecture, and if time left, we are going to start polarization in the very next lecture. Okay, this is all for the day. Thank you.